John Jones, Tom Aspinall.
John Jones will smoke Tom Aspinall.
I don't know, man.
Man, he'll smoke Tom Aspinall.
Who do you see as the #1 pound-for-pound guy in the UFC right now? Is it Islam Makhachev? Is it somebody else?
Of course, it's a John Jones.
It's John Jones.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. We got to get him fighting Tom Aspinall maybe this summer.
Yeah, that's the fight everybody wants to see, even me. And because young guy versus like GOAT and real like heavyweight, so I feel like it's gonna be hard for the John Jones.
Tom Aspinall snaps at endless John Jones talk, says he's had enough, and just wants the UFC to give him a fight.
What's it been like having to answer questions about, he's not your nemesis, he's just someone that you want to beat? John Jones, you don't know where you stand. Dana said it's the biggest fight in UFC history now, so all signs point to that, but we're not there yet.
Yeah, I've had enough talking about it, mate. I'm honestly bored of it. We'll see.
Tom Aspinall is beginning to grow frustrated with the constant speculation surrounding his potential fight with John Jones. Despite being one of the most talented fighters in the heavyweight division, Aspinall has not stepped into the octagon since his stunning 60-second knockout victory over Curtis Blaydes in July 2023 at UFC 304. Fans are becoming increasingly concerned that the 31-year-old Englishman might be sidelined for a full year due to the waiting game, with many anticipating that his next opponent could be Jones.
John Jones will smoke Tom Aspinall.
I don't know, man.
Man, he'll smoke Tom Aspinall.
Tom Aspinall is athletic. I think Tom Aspinall would try to take the fight to John Jones. And it'll be interesting to see. Like, I'd rather see that fight over Alex Pereira.
Yeah,
that's just my
I
opinion.
agree.
Like,
I would like to see that fight over Alex, but come on, man. Aspinall is a great fighter.
Yep.
He's a good champion.
Aspinall.
That's what I said. John Jones will smoke Aspinall.
Yeah.
Smoke him.
I can't wait to see. I hope it happens. That's the fight that needs to happen. I think Tom Aspinall versus John Jones needs to happen.
Why do you think there's so much friction there? Why do you think it's not happening? What? Because we see so
I think
much.
John Jones said he wants 30 million.
Aspinall recently expressed his weariness with the ongoing discussion about the highly anticipated bout. When asked about the fight's significance, he gave a blunt response, stating that he had enough talking about it. Aspinall emphasized that he was simply ready to fight whenever the UFC informed him of his next matchup, without the constant need for further conversation. This response suggests that the prolonged negotiations and endless speculation are starting to take their toll on the fighter. He has made it clear that he is prepared for action and just wants a firm date for his next bout, showing his eagerness to return to the octagon.
Your career's heading, what's going on? What's it been like having to answer questions about, he's not your nemesis, he's just someone that you want to beat? John Jones, you don't know where you stand. Dana said it's the biggest fight in UFC history now, so all signs point to that, but we're not there yet.
Yeah, I've had enough talking about it, mate. I'm honestly bored of it. We'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll just see. I'm ready to fight whenever they tell me, so just let me know. I'll be there.
This frustration comes after a series of injuries and long breaks between fights, with fans becoming increasingly impatient. Aspinall has been on a strong winning streak since his knee injury in 2022, where he suffered a devastating setback during a fight against Curtis Blaydes, which ended prematurely due to a serious knee injury just 15 seconds into the bout. However, Aspinall managed to bounce back, securing 3 straight victories, including impressive finishes over Curtis Blaydes and Sergey Pavlovich. Despite his undeniable skill and impressive record, it seems that his path to the undisputed heavyweight title has been somewhat delayed, largely due to the ongoing uncertainty around his potential fight with John Jones.
John Jones beats him. That's what, 3 generations of the best guys.
Oh, 3 more than that, bro.
He's already young. How old was he?
He beat Shogun, bro.
Yeah, Shogun, and then the next generation is what?
Rashad.
Chael Sonnen.
Nah, that's the same.
Okay, no way.
Pick
Gustafson and Shogun are not the same generation.
No, that would be the second generation.
Okay, okay. Then he beat Reyes and whatever, and those guys. That's the third. This would be the fourth. Aspinall especially, because Aspinall's young.
How old's
You know
Aspinall?
what I mean? He's in his 20s, bro, I think, maybe.
And Jones is mid-40s? Oh, he's only 30s?
Yeah, he was a champion, youngest ever, 19, 20 years old. And the dude stopped the mugging the morning of his championship fight. This is crazy, bro.
Aspinall made a realistic assessment of what the potential fight with Jones might look like. When discussing the clash between the two heavyweights, he acknowledged the unpredictable nature of the sport. Aspinall was open about the possibility of losing to Jones, stating that in heavyweight MMA, anything can happen. He pointed out that both fighters are massive with small gloves, and no one can truly predict what will occur once the fight starts. Despite his confidence in his own abilities, Aspinall remained grounded, admitting that he could very well lose the fight. Tom said, "I don't know. It's hard to say. Who knows what's gonna happen? I might get knocked out in the Jones fight. Heavyweight MMA, you can't plan too far in the future. It's not about being humble, it's just about being realistic. Two guys, both massive, both got tiny gloves on, anything can happen. I do think my talent is better than anybody else's, but I'm also realistic. One of us has to lose, and there's two of us in there, so we'll see." The UFC's desire to make the fight between Jones and Aspinall a reality is evident, as UFC President Dana White recently spoke about the possibility of the two fighters clashing sometime in the summer of 2025. White has made it clear that the promotion is eager to make the fight happen, but he has also been candid about the risks of prolonged negotiations. If the process drags on for too long, the UFC may move on and look for other options. This statement is a reflection of the UFC's drive to keep the division moving forward and avoid waiting too long for one matchup to materialize. With the heavyweights in flux following Francis Ngannou's departure, Jones remains the undisputed champion, and Aspinall is looking to claim that title as his own.
And you were talking about Tom and John. Tom released that video blog a few days ago on the train where he was saying like John's side is holding up the fight. What is he referring to there?
Well, I think that, listen, John Jones definitely wants to fight. Just when and where is what we're working on now.
Do you feel confidence? I think you said John.
I'm very confident
summer on first
that fight happens. Yeah.
Summer.
Yeah.
However, other names have entered the conversation, adding complexity to the heavyweight picture. Chael Sonnen recently suggested that Dana White might be using Alex Pereira as leverage in the negotiations for the Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall fight. According to Sonnen, Pereira's potential move to the heavyweight division could be part of a larger strategy to push Jones into accepting the fight against Aspinall. The UFC may be positioning Pereira as a bargaining chip, with the idea that the Brazilian could fight the winner of a Jones versus Aspinall bout, or even face other contenders in the division.
Pereira is the only guy of my lifetime that I reasonably believe could pull off champ. It's not enough of a story. There still has to be a why. Moving him up just for the sake of moving it up, I don't get the point. Sounds like he's going to be offered a title fight at 205 pounds. So in the best case scenario, if he goes to heavyweight, he's offered a title fight there. My belief of Pereira going up to heavyweight is superseded that Pereira as a piece on the chessboard would provide. Like if we couldn't get Jones and Aspinall done, what are you going to do? You call Surreal? What do? You put Surreal with Aspinall? That's where it would be so helpful to have Pereira at heavyweight, just purely as a bargaining chip if needed. But all my opinions are gone if it just has to do with straight competition. Keep a guy at his weight, have a guy take on a guy who he's already failed against. That's what a true competitor do, is scratch and claw and find his way back.
This speculation highlights the uncertainty surrounding the future of the heavyweight division, with many contenders waiting for a chance to challenge for the title. While Pereira had been initially considered a potential opponent for Jones in the heavyweight division, his recent loss to Magomed Ankalaev has complicated matters. Ankalaev's victory over Pereira at UFC 313 surprised many, and it forced Dana White to reconsider his stance on Pereira's potential move up to heavyweight. Although White had previously dismissed the idea of Pereira facing Jones, he is now rethinking the Brazilian's future, suggesting that there are still tough challenges for him in the light heavyweight division.
There's a lot of talk before this fight from kind of mainstream media that like, oh, Alex John would be the fight to make, but do you think tonight shows that actually Alex is still pretty new in MMA and it's John Tom was always the fight and that's the fight that you still want to make?
Yeah, I mean, when you're trying to ask a guy, you know, to move up 2 weight classes to heavyweight and take on the greatest of all time. I think we all agree with that in this room, right? It's you know, there's still tough guys to fight in the light heavyweight division. I believe in moving up after you clean out divisions. And this division wasn't cleaned out yet.
In addition to these shifting dynamics, Joe Rogan has weighed in on the potential fight between Jones and Aspinall. The UFC commentator has been vocal about his belief that Jones would have the upper hand in a potential clash with Aspinall. Rogan pointed out that while Aspinall is an extremely talented striker with impressive agility for a heavyweight, Jones possesses an edge in grappling. Rogan believes that if the fight were to go to the ground, Jones would dominate, potentially taking Aspinall down and controlling him with his superior wrestling. He also expressed concerns about Aspinall's lack of experience in long, grueling fights, which could play a significant role if the fight goes into the later rounds.
Aspinall's a freak. Like, I've seen a lot of heavyweight, even Francis, who's like the greatest, scariest power striker I've ever seen in the heavyweight division. No one's scarier than Francis. Francis does not move like Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall is significantly faster than every other heavyweight. That's a real problem. That's a real problem. But John has been used to fighting guys like Alexander Gustafsson, guys who are really fast at light heavyweight. So the speed is not going to be as much of an adjustment. Like, John's used to really fast people. He fought Lyoto Machida when Machida was in his prime. Machida was a lightning bolt, man. And he caught John a bunch of times. But then there's the thing of getting caught by Lyoto Machida is not like getting caught by 255-pound Tom Aspinall. Here's a question with Aspinall. What happens with Aspinall in the second round? All of his fights, like all together, he's fought like 10 minutes. Aspinall's one of the fastest heavyweights. He might be the fastest heavyweight in the history of the sport. Look how fast he moves in. That guy's so fast. He moves like a 175-pounder. Incredible stand-up, knocks guys out with one punch, black belt in jiu-jitsu.
So what's your prediction if it happens?
It's hard to bet against John. If you're getting laced up with elbows where your head's bleeding, he's going to slowly dismantle you and find a way to submit you. Can he do that with a guy like Aspinall, who's a legit 255-pound natural who moves like he's 80 pounds lighter? He's a freak, man.
Aspinall's quick finishes in his UFC career, with an average fight time of just over 2 minutes, have raised questions about his endurance. While his ability to finish opponents quickly is undoubtedly impressive, it remains to be seen how he would fare in a prolonged battle against someone like Jones, who has thrived in deep waters and has shown a capacity to win grueling 5-round wars. Rogan's assessment adds a layer of uncertainty to the potential fight, raising doubts about Aspinall's ability to survive if the fight stretches into the championship rounds.
See, I think pound for pound, and we won't ever find out. I think Tom Aspinall is the best. I think
Who knows?
I think Tom beats him.
Who knows if
who
John
knows?
beats him? John might beat him up.
Yeah, he could.
John might take him down and ragdoll him on the ground, like, you know.
John easily could, because we don't know how good John is either.
And we also don't know what happens to Tom Aspinall in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th rounds.
He's
we have zero
because
idea.
no one's gotten there.
No one's even gotten close.
There's so many question marks. Like, we don't know how good John is.
Right.
You can't tell me John's the best of all time, or he is the best GOAT, but you can't tell me he's the baddest heavyweight on the planet after being an older Stipe. That's not going to do it for me.
Right.
Aspinall looks fucking good, and he's in his prime.
But Cyril Gane almost beat Francis. I know you can say the thing about the knee, and Jones just smoked him.
Went right through
We
him.
also didn't know. That's news to me.
Many in the MMA community have debated whether Tom Aspinall has what it takes to dethrone Jon Jones. While some remain skeptical, others believe the rising heavyweight has the tools to pose the greatest threat to the longtime champion. Former middleweight champion Michael Bisping has been one of Aspinall's most vocal supporters, praising his speed and power. Bisping sees Aspinall as the most dangerous heavyweight in the division and considers him the favorite in a potential fight against Jones.
He's the fastest, quickest, most powerful heavyweight on the planet. He's the favorite against Jon Jones, and no man alive can beat Tom Aspinall, in my humble opinion. And that's with the greatest of respect to Jon Jones.
Mick Parkin, another promising contender in the heavyweight division and a close training partner of Aspinall, has also weighed in. While acknowledging Jones's legendary status, Parkin questioned whether the champion is still pushing himself as hard as he once did. He speculated that Jones's training intensity may have diminished with time, and given that Aspinall continues to improve, now could be the best opportunity to defeat him. Parkin emphasized Aspinall's athleticism, particularly his speed and movement, which he believes would give Jones serious problems. He said, "Jon Jones is amazing. He's no easy challenge, but he's maybe not training as intense. I don't know this. This is completely guessing looking from the outside. It doesn't look like he trains as much. He's definitely a little bit older, and it's definitely the time to beat him, if there is a time. Tom is just going from strength to strength, and he's just the most dangerous guy. Just the way he moves and everything. He's a big guy. He's really fast, and he's coming into his prime now. I do think he'd beat Jon Jones." However, not everyone is convinced. Former UFC heavyweight champion Cain Velasquez remains skeptical of Aspinall's chances, citing potential vulnerabilities in his striking. Velasquez, known for his analytical approach to fighting, believes that Jones's ability to break down opponents and neutralize their strengths would be the deciding factor. Given Jones's meticulous preparation and fight IQ, Velasquez does not see Aspinall overcoming the champion. He said, "No, I don't think he does beat Jon Jones." So me just watching him, I kind of see his pattern a little bit in his striking, the way he comes in and strikes. I think Jon sees it too. So I think with that, just cause Jon studies, he does his homework, he's a master at this. He analyzes things, he studies you over and over again. I think just for that reason, he's gonna know what to do. So I don't think Aspinall beats Jon. Curtis Blades, who previously faced Aspinall, has a different take. He believes that if Jones wants to solidify his legacy at heavyweight, facing Aspinall is essential. Blades, who experienced Aspinall's power firsthand in their interim title bout, views him as a unique challenge compared to Jones's previous opponents. He likened Aspinall's style to that of Dominic Reyes, one of the few fighters who pushed Jones to his limits, and pointed out that Jones's lack of knockout power at heavyweight could be a disadvantage against someone with Aspinall's striking abilities.
See Aspinall as a guy that could give Jon a lot of problems.
Yeah, he's very fast, he's very athletic, and hits hard enough, and he's actually like a smart heavyweight. He's not just out there just moving, he's like setting things up. He understands footwork, he understands how to set up a takedown. He's not, one thing I noticed with Jon, this is a bonus to him. He takes advantage of like easy stuff.
Kamaru Usman also sees Aspinall as the biggest challenge for Jones in the division, but believes the decision to take the fight extends beyond competition. At this stage of his career, Usman noted Jones must consider financial incentives before committing to a high-risk matchup.
You hit the nail on the head. I do think Tom Aspinall is the most dangerous heavyweight right now. 100% the biggest threat to pry that belt away from Jon Jones. But Jon has got to get that bag. Gets that bag.
30 million Kush.
Wait, you keep saying 30. Don't be counting the man's pockets like that. Hey, relax.
No, it's already, the word's already out there, man. People can't keep their mouth shut. 30 million?
Dricus du Plessis has mixed feelings about the potential fight. While he acknowledges Aspinall's rise as the future of the heavyweight division, he also believes Jones deserves to retire with his undefeated title fight record intact. Though he would prefer not to see either fighter lose, he admits the matchup seems inevitable.
Aspinall is young, he's hungry. You have Jones, who is definitely at the end of his career, 38 years old. I don't need to see this because he's never been beaten. So I don't need to see Jon Jones fight Aspinall because I don't want either one of them to lose. I want Jon Jones to retire unbeaten. Of course, he had that DQ for 12-6, which is now legal, but unbeaten and the legend that he is. And I want him to retire and Aspinall goes on to be the next big thing.
Stipe Miocic focused on the strategic aspect of the fight. He praised Aspinall's skill set, but emphasized the importance of patience in facing a fighter as seasoned as Jones. He suggested rushing in recklessly would play into Jones's hands, as the champion has repeatedly demonstrated an ability to capitalize on opponents' mistakes.
Get booked with him and Jon Jones. What's the best advice you'd give Tom Aspinall?
Don't do what I did.
Avoid the liver shot.
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? But I think Tommy, that guy, he's super tough and he hits hard. He moves well. He's a big man. I think that he stays calm under the situation, and whatever happens, he just stays calm. I think he'll be fine. He pitches shots. He's smart what he does, and I think he'll do fine.
Israel Adesanya also weighed in, speaking highly of Aspinall's talent and well-rounded abilities. However, he acknowledged that when it comes to grappling, Jones's experience and high-level skill set could give him a crucial advantage. While he sees the fight as unpredictable, he recognizes that Jones's wrestling could be a deciding factor.
But Aspinall, he and his dad, cool dudes, lovely guys as well. But he's the same height as me, if not an inch taller, but thick. And I was like, you're a lot thicker than I would expect. And the speed, that's the thing that I'm like, okay, that's the danger. But again, grappling, he's a black belt. Jon is, it's different. But I don't know, man. They gotta fight, but if they don't ever fight, we'll never know.
Frank Mir shares a similar perspective, recognizing Aspinall as a dangerous opponent while still favoring Jones due to his wrestling ability. Mir believes that Jones's ground control and devastating ground and pound would be difficult for Aspinall to overcome. However, he also noted that regardless of the outcome, Jones's legacy as one of the greatest fighters in history remains intact.
I think Tom might have the best chance of anybody to beat John right now. But that being said, I still think John wins the fight just because of his wrestling. I think he puts, Tom on his back and is able to nullify his jiu-jitsu from being top position with his elbows and control. What does John win to take that fight? He goes out there and beats Tom. Is it really going to make or break his career? I don't think anybody gives a shit.
Daniel Cormier also analyzed how Jones's physicality could play a role in the fight. He suggested that Jones may be more effective at a leaner weight, as the extra bulk he put on for heavyweight appeared to slightly slow him down against Cyril Gane. Against an opponent as explosive as Aspinall, that slight reduction in speed could make a significant difference. While Jones is known for avoiding mistakes, Cormier believes Aspinall has the potential to challenge him in ways other heavyweights have not.
I bet if he's weighing 215, he would fight Tom Aspinall better than him weighing 245 pounds. In his 205 frame, he could fight Tom Aspinall better than he'd fight him at that 250 because that's not his weight class. While he didn't last long with Cyril, he didn't look as fast. He carried more weight. Cyril just did some weird stuff. And John, you don't make mistakes against John.
Francis Ngannou has questioned Jones's hesitation in taking the fight, implying that the champion may not see it as beneficial beyond financial incentives. From Ngannou's perspective, this fight is far more crucial for Aspinall's legacy than Jones's. He also posed an interesting question to fans, asking whether they would rather see Jones face Aspinall or a striker like Alex Pereira. He argued that Aspinall presents a tougher challenge due to his grappling abilities, which could test Jones in ways Pereira's striking-focused approach would not.
He keeps saying he doesn't want Aspinall.
Aspinall need that fight. I don't need it. When you look at it, pretty much true. There's nothing that he's going to make winning that fight if it's not money. But for Aspinall, that will be everything.
Would you rather see him face Aspinall or would you rather see him face Pereira?
Aspinall will be a more challenging fight because Aspinall responds to a ground game better than Pereira. Aspinall will respond better in wrestling than Pereira. He can do whatever he wants.
Sean O'Malley took a broader view, suggesting that regardless of the outcome, Jones's status as one of the greatest fighters in history is already secure. However, he acknowledged that a loss to Aspinall would likely lead to debates about whether Jones had declined with age, or if Aspinall had simply proven to be the better fighter.
Tom Aspinall? God damn. It's like it's like you risk going down as the, no matter what, you don't have to fight again. Greatest of all time, people will say that. You're the greatest of all time, greatest of all time, John Jones. Or you risk it, go fight Tom Aspinall, possibly lose, and then it's like, you was the greatest. Then they're saying, yeah, but he wasn't in his prime.
The road to a John Jones versus Tom Aspinall fight may be long and filled with twists and turns, but one thing is clear. Both fighters are eager to prove themselves as the true king of the heavyweight division. Whether that means a summer showdown in 2025 or something else entirely, the anticipation continues to build, leaving fans eagerly awaiting what will happen next. So what are your thoughts about this? Do let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.